Dutchmans will check on a Monday night, the night before chaos erupts. Remember that. Tuesday, what is that? November 5th? 6th? I don't know, whatever. This year, we shall find out which crazy person we get for the boss. Man, 2024 year has not been good in many ways, not just for me, but for a lot of people. Anyway, um, this table I've been working on for a while now. It's in the process of being finished now. I'm to the point where I'm to finished stage. But see, in these directions, there's a couple ways you could do this. One is by pins. The other one was to make it where it actually didn't sit on it. It had a brace. Anyway, what I'm doing here is, and I don't have that round piece in the middle because I just want it flat. I kind of like the way it looks. Um, this is going to set up a little bit higher when I'm through with it. This is going to set up at least, I would guess from here to here is probably about an inch, inch and a quarter. So this is actually, I want to make it look like it's floating. Couple of things I thought about now are pins. Now I've got these things, and I thought about just putting this in. These are 1 inch. They're threaded inside, and then what you do is this has got a screw like thing, and then it's threaded like a bolt, and you screw it in there, and then what happens is you get the ones. Of course, this is not the right one, but you could pull this up or down and float it. Do I want to do that? I don't know. I was, if I did, the problem with doing it that way is that you can't really put anything heavy on it this way because it's floating. The other way is I have to drill a hole in the top of this and into this. Now this is 5/8 inch thick because I planed it down. It used to be 3/4, but by the time you take all the this stuff is what it is. It's basically red oak flooring. Okay, so, and see, by the time you take, and this has still got stuff on it, but by the time you take this out of here, it gets down to about the same thickness as this rod is. So, I don't know. What I'll probably end up doing is drilling a hole in the bottom of this and then doing the holes here anyway and gluing it. So it looks like it's floating, but it's not. And now the only thing I have a problem with is the steel or the aluminum rod I brought back doesn't look right. So I'm in the process of trying to find like a chrome, or if I get steel that I can find that I can paint. Maybe I'll paint it like a black or something, you know. Who's on there? Henry, Brent, what you guys up to tonight? Tonight's D night, or end of D day. I hope you guys voted. Actually, I didn't want to, but I caved in, and it wasn't pretty. At least where I'm at. Anyways, I'm going to be glad when all that stuff is gone. I haven't been doing much, so if you guys haven't been, since the first live I've done in a couple weeks probably, or whatever, I've been busy doing other things, and there hasn't been a lot of interest anyways. I haven't done any turning other than these. I did a walnut bowl probably about 3 weeks ago, They haven't done anything since my dog died. They just don't have the mood. I mean, you know. So I've been working on my train set, and I know you guys are bored with the train set. I know I talked to John, and John, wow, you know, none of the people on there like us. That's fine. I started to, so I'm keeping everything off of it, and I'm putting it all on the train site. Yeah. So there's Jeff's Train World. It's another channel. Problem is, I don't have enough. I don't have enough people looking at it. I can't get the channel because I can't do lives on there. But I'm in a process of doing a lot of work, and that's taking up a lot of time because I'm not only am I doing the landscaping part of it, I have to build buildings, and I have to come up with stuff that they don't make for my engage. So, um, and the wiring itself is a pain in the butt. That it's kind of like what what's his name is doing with his spaceship. You guys, yeah, that one of my buddies is building a spaceship. It's Enterprise or something like that. And so it's all electronic. So he'll come on and do live stuff on his stuff. And it's like I'm watching these guys trying for hours and on top of hours trying to put things together. It's all, you know, I used to be into that, but oh, thanks. Thanks. Well, it's just being, you know, I just haven't had them. You know, look, I've been that long's been sitting on my lathe for about a week, 2 weeks. That's supposed to be a Christmas tree, and I don't feel like turning. So, oh, I did make something though. Here, I'll show you this. All right, this is me fooling around. I told you that one time. Well, you know, this you already seen this, right? So I still don't know what I'm gonna do with it. It's just basically a showpiece. All right. So I did this one. This is Osage. So now, and I still can't get, you know, I still can't figure out why I'm having this issue. But yeah, so what my idea is, the center point is right about there, right? So I was gonna take and carve this out, and this will be flat. Once I get going, this will be all flat anyway. So because there's a piece of Osage right there, see? Oh, I planned it that way, so I wasn't worried about that. But yeah. And then big thing here. I mean, after I get this finished, this whole wall is gonna be. I'm tearing everything apart. This is coming up next month, probably Christmas time. I'm doing barnwood here. I'm gonna start back here in the corner and go this way. Trying to put separation in here. Um, I'm basically done making things for the year. I'm just farting around right now. So I don't have any more Christmas stuff because I didn't sell anything. So it's all, I've got a ton of Christmas stuff in my showroom. And well, I've got like 10 or 12 snowmen and about the same in Christmas trees and at least 30 bowls. And the last show I did, it sucked. I didn't make but $95, and it was between myself and the wife. So there you go. I sold one thing. Um, so what I'll end up doing here is, if I don't sell, I've got an art show coming up next month, and I think I get 28 things I can dump off or something, or so I forget. Anyway, I'm gonna dump them off there. Whatever I put in there, I have no idea what I'm gonna do. Um, what I don't sell, I'm just gonna donate to the Turners Club, the Windy City Turners. When they do the bowl thing, that's it. All my stuff is going, and then I'll start from scratch. But I'm not making. I won't be making anything till probably June. Then, when I go away and this winter to where I usually go to for a month, I'll come back and I have an operation on my hip. So that'll put me up. I'll be out for 3 months. I won't be doing anything for 3 months, probably until March, the end of March. Um, you know what? I'm okay with that. I'm burned out with woodworking, guys. So And my big thing is now I got to get my Mustang's got to get fixed. I want to finish the train set because every kid on the block is bugging me to come down here. I mean, I would love I love doing stuff for you guys on here, but the problem is I'm accumulating mass amounts of this stuff and I'm not getting rid of it, you know. So whether I sell it or give it away, I don't know. So don't be surprised if I only have one show a week, like maybe, and it might be taped because that's all I've been doing is taping little pieces like this on. I wanted to show you this. That's the reason why I put it on tonight. I wasn't gonna do it, but I have to explain myself. Okay, so and this the way it's supposed to go. All right, it's not very big, but this top, all right, it's shaped kind of like a surfboard. All right, and then I made the ends kind of blunt because I'm still trying to figure out how I can take the ends off of this and make them more curved. And I think the only way I can do that is take a power planer and do it, or a what do you call it, a grinder, hand grinder. Okay, so now the way that thing is supposed to sit is I'm supposed to have something in like a dowel rod in right about here somewhere and one over here about the same distance. You drill 4 holes and you put it here, but you have to measure and make sure you got them so that it's level, right? But because the framework is basically, I turned all this and they've got dowels in here. I tried something different now, and it actually came out pretty straight, okay? The only problem I'm having right now is just have to finish this top part off a little bit. But like I said, this thing will sit, I don't know if you guys can see this. This thing's supposed to sit on top of here. Just the bottom, and it's supposed to set something like this. Now, what I'm gonna do, I think I'm gonna do a, maybe I'll do a cherry wood finish on this. I don't know. I'm gonna have to test it with some of my spare pieces in here. But I'd like to see what a cherry wood would look like. I don't know. What do you guys think? That's red oak, but you can see I've got a mixture of red and white, a little bit here. I did that on purpose. You guys ever see a surfboard? And I made one, so I know how to make them. And I grew up in California, so there you go. So SoCal. And the next one I'm gonna do, if I make another one like this, the next one I'm gonna do 2 things I'm gonna change. All right, one is this is gonna be flatter underneath, and then what I'll have is a shape like a surfboard, more pointy on either end. And then these won't be dowel rods because they were too much of a pain to put together. They'll be mortise and tenon. Yeah, it was the reason I did it that way. And I have these holes here drilled, and this was one of this was a spare prototype I was working on. Okay, so this section here was flat, and when you put it in there against the framework, that's where it's supposed to go, right? Unfortunately, this thing got smaller, and it threw it off a little bit, but it's still usable. I use it for a template now, but the hardest part for me with this was I probably could have been a little bit thinner on this when I did this reveal. I could have been a little bit thinner on this going down, but I wanted to get to a point where it was the same. It was like maybe 3/4 of an inch. Because see, you don't want to go too far down and have that. If this would have been a solid piece of wood, it would have been a different story. But I glued 3 pieces together, and the idea with this was to make it so that it's all made out of oak wood flooring. So it's actually out of oak wood flooring, And then I made the jig. Whoops. I made a jig for it. So when you put the dowel rod in there, when you put the dowel rod, you put the leg in there, and if it's flat on three sides, that's how it goes in. And then you got two marked spots there for that. So that's one jig. The other jig is going to be, I have to figure out a way, if I ever do dowel rods again, how to set it up on these ends to where you can't, and this is where I got to where I use my dowel rod jig that I bought from the store. It was off. I had to fool with it until it wasn't what I wanted. So, but this is pretty basic. It was pretty simple. The hardest part was just lining up this. To me, this is the major part right here. Because you want to be able to make these so they basically look like they're in line with each other. That was the other thing. So if you ever do one of these, what you got to do, oops, is make it, and I'm going to do this, take a scrap piece of plywood. All right, so what I'm going to do after I'm through with everything, put this on a piece of plywood, stand it on there, and then drill 2 holes that are just a hair bigger than these, all 4. So what you could do is to keep it straight the way you want it and at the right pitch, you put that in piece of wood on top of that so that it's just barely sticking around the holes. And it'll keep them all in the same spot because they will move around. And clamping these things at an angle were a little bit of a pain. So, that's the only way I know how to do it. If somebody's got a better way, let me know. But I like how it turned out. I'm just trying to figure out my finish. Dark. Well, yeah, John is doing this stuff. John is always, he got into the crocheting and he hasn't been doing any, scroll saw work, which is kind of, I don't mind it, but I'll sit there and watch somebody go like this for like 15 minutes and say, I'm done. I can't do that. And then Russ from Russ's, what do you call it? Let's Talk Shop with Russ. He banned me. I don't know. Okay, Robin did this and Russ did this. And I think Connie did too. But I can't get into all 3 of those on live chat. I can watch, but I can't live chat. And somebody was saying, I think it's because you're not joined. You're a subscriber, but when you do the other thing, and you're not joined, you get kicked off, or you can't chat. Well, I'm not gonna pay. I'm sorry. I'm cheap. All right. I was cheap on this. I could have gone to the store and bought $100 worth of wood, but I did. No, I tried to do it cheap. And the reason I did this is because I'm trying to show people how you can make things out of scrap wood. And okay, that's me. I'm an ex-forester. I'm an ex-firefighter. I show people how you can use scrap wood to make nice pieces. And I can do that. It's simple. I make bird houses. I make bird feeders. I make furniture. I made, and it's in there somewhere, pictures on my site, where I made a whole entire vanity for a bathroom, about 44 inches long, and about 25 or 30 inches wide, out of this stuff. And it wasn't easy, but once you get a plan, it's not bad. Once you're a man with a plan, you got it, you know. Okay, so with this, let me ask you guys, what kind of finish should I put on there? Um, I gotta pick up a piece of wood that looks like it. Okay, well, wait a minute, I got a piece. Okay, so, see, another thing, this is kind of a template, but and I marked on it. So with this I'll have this too. This will tell you the measurements. Although I'm tempted to write them on the other leg so that everybody knows. But I have my calipers in certain spots. And the reason the reason why they're this far apart, they're a foot apart. And the reason is because you're tapered from there to there. That's the easy part. The hard part is when you get down to the bottom and trying to get it to where you don't look like you have a hump going up like this. That's a pain. But after a while, I've done baseball bats, so I've got practice with it. And I don't. Here's another thing. I don't need to make a template for a baseball bat. I got one. I got my own softball bat in there. So yeah, look at this. They fit the same size. Well, okay. This wood here is oak. It's red oak, right? Okay. You ever see the wormy wood? There's a lot of worminess in this. This is the old growth wood. This one came out of an old farmhouse. Actually, no, it came out of a Sears house. It came out of a 1920 Sears house. That's where that came from. How do I know this? Because I keep track of the things I get. People give me stuff all the time. So now here's another one. I could have made this, use this to make another top, right? I probably still could. But here's the problem. One is darker, it's a little bit thicker, so that I have to run these two the same. This one's darker and it's thinner than these two. So again, it's like you have to two-tone it like that. Running it through the thickest planer is not a big deal, by the way. Here's another one. That's close. See, I have a lot of. I was making picture frames too, because I am a photographer, by the way. So, all right. If you want the plans for this, I can take and I'll send them to you. I'll take a copy of them, and I'll send you to what it looks supposed to look like. The hallway table. All right. That's it. The only thing I didn't do was this. I didn't do that because my lathe, I can't do it. It's too big. Now, somebody told me, okay, you could do it. I guess I shouldn't say I couldn't do it. All right. The guy that did this actually did it on a piece of wood. Right. So he didn't cut a hole in it and then put it in. I could do that, I guess. I could have done that with this. Nice piece of walnut. This is courtesy. This is a piece I brought home from Gerald, from the Appalachian Heritage Wood Shop. Oh yeah. By the way, make sure you go on and check him out. Appalachian Heritage Wood Shop. He's on there. He's got a channel. He's on YouTube and he's on Facebook. A good friend of mine, very good friend of mine. I went and visited him about a month ago, and he's up in West Virginia, and he's got a lot of videos and stuff to watch. Very, very professional. He's my mentor in my opinion. I learned some stuff when I was there too. So I mean, we went in there and made some stuff in his shop, and I enjoy it. I could spend a long time in his shop. Trust me. He's got everything in this place. It's a huge barn. And then down a little bit further from where that's at, he's got a homemade kiln and a storage bin for all this wood he's got. He's on I think 50 acres or something, and he takes care of. He's a forester basically, you know. But making these things is fun. It's just I haven't put together furniture in a long time, so you have to. I've been spinning stuff more than I've been spinning, but that's what I used to do. So I mean, I've made. There's one other one I made here. Now you guys have probably seen this one before. Okay, see, that's just basically. I have to put the top back on, but yeah, got it as a drawer. Has a platform underneath. Okay, so now the story behind this, and I made this a while ago. One time, there was a lady that was doing a, what did she call it, greenology show? Greenology show, and that was basically based around gardens. Okay, so the big deal at the time was I was making that same framework, like this, the basic. Say I've got pocket holes right here. It makes it easy to join two, together. I thought about it with this, but I wanted a floating table, so. Um, but the way this was set, I actually had it to where you could make it a planter, and you put drip irrigation in it. I made old rustic ones with barnwood and pallet wood. That was a big thing. I think it was 12 years ago or something like that. They make great pallet. They make great garden pieces. Now, a lot of the ones that I have one left that's actually in the pump room where my air compressor is. That's what my air compressor is sitting on. But I made outhouses. Now the outhouse one is a special project. Okay, for a great customer of mine and a great friend of mine, and it's in their yard. It's in their garden in the backyard. I had to cut the moon in the door, and I did a split door. Like I call it Mr. Ed door. Like Mr. Ed the TV program where he's got the barn door half open, the bottom down closed, because he's talking to the horse right now. See, so at least he's talking to the horse and not me. I'd be talking to myself. So this is another easy project. This is actually a pretty easy project. And I did this with biscuits. So, and I did, okay, so the joinery part of it. All right, I'll show you. These are done with biscuits. Now I've done one with the dowels, and I've done one just with mortise and tenon. And actually, the mortise and tenon would work better with this, but unfortunately, I don't have a mortising bit set up. And every time I try to do a mortise, it would slide. The drill would move, and I couldn't get it in straight. I was fighting it all the time. So anyway, this one's for sale too. And what I used on this, I could probably put another coat on here, is wipe on poly. I don't like a lot of shiny looks to it. So, and that's what I'll probably have on this, what I'm through, is more or less a rough finish, not a rough finish, but a satin finish look to it. And what was on here was a wipe on honey nut gel stain. And then I used Minwax honey nut gel stain, and then a wipe on poly, Minwax wipe on poly. And they work good. I don't have any problems with wipe on poly. So, some of the stuff I've used on other projects, and if I'm using for bowls, I'll use a honey. Uh, I'll use a little bit of paste on there, but bowls. You're gonna put food in it. You don't want to have it with something on there that's not food acceptable. You know what I mean? I'm not saying put cereal in it with milk. I'm just saying like chips or apples or something. You got to be aware of that when you're selling stuff like this. So anyway, I hope all you guys that are watching me. It's great to see 39 people. That's awesome. Thank you very much. If you haven't subscribed, um, subscribe, please, and it'll let you know when I start doing something. Now, tomorrow is Tuesday. I usually do Tool Time Tuesday, um, but I have a meeting tomorrow night, so I don't know if I will. Plus, it is Election Day. It's D-Day. It's just get it done and over with day. I don't know about you, but I just wanted to get. I don't care anymore. I just tired of hearing it, but. Yeah, I think you and I out there, everybody out there could do a better job than what we got running. So all it is the rich people in Hollywood. Hollywood is what I call it. Anyway, I would love. Okay, so here's another thing for you guys to think about. All you woodworkers out there, and I know you're watching me. I'd like to do a side by side when I'm doing an interview you and you see what your shop is like. I, for one, when I go traveling, I make it a point to go to all the woodworking shops I can, whether it's commercial, industrial, or a contractor doing stuff, or just a hobbyist. The big thing is to get the hobbyist out there. I love doing this stuff. I'm retired. As long as you don't, it's not about the money. It's about having fun. And this time of year, y'all should be making your own tool. You should be making your own presents for your family and friends, and making ornaments. So anyway, I'm gonna get off and quit rambling. And please let me know what you guys want on here, because if you don't tell me, I don't want to sit here and talk forever on stupid things that you guys don't want to hear. Because I'll lose half of you. Like I probably lost Henry. Who else is on there? Yeah. Well, Frost, you're still there. I'm surprised you're hanging in there. But some of the people I know from other groups, they're on for like 10 minutes and they go. Um, and I'm not good enough for other people. I got Robin on there. She don't like it anymore. So anyway, with that note, I'm gonna let you guys go. Remember to vote tomorrow. Whether you're not in the country, if you're not in the country, not part of this, that's fine. Just let me know where you're at. I'm gonna do a roll call on the next time. Okay, so I want to hear from where you're at, and leave me a message, please. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe, because you won't know when I'm on unless you do. God bless you guys. God bless America. And remember, make something. Make sawdust. You're in Sawdustville, and I'd love to see you guys. God bless. And my shop is always open too. So for anybody that's local in the Foxville area of Illinois, if we're within 30, 40 miles, stop by. My refrigerator is always open, and so is my shop. God bless you guys. Good night.